What's going on, everybody? Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you that's tuning in, maybe Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, wherever you may be watching, thank you for watching. I really, really, really appreciate this. This is something special to me, something dear to my heart, something I've been working on for a little while. Today, we're going to be talking about how this whole idea came about, from the beginning to the end, and you know, kind of like what it takes to put something like this together. Also, we're going to be talking about some of the shows and some of the activities and stuff that's going to be associated with the Kingdom Culture TV network. Make sure you stay tuned to the end. Again, make sure you stay till the end. I got a few items that I'm going to be giving away. Okay, so this will be a few things that I'm going to be giving away, and you won't be able to participate in the giveaway unless you stay all the way to the end. Okay, so make sure you stay all the way to the end. I got a few things I want to give you just because you took time out of your busy schedule and watch. Appreciate it, and we'll see you when the show starts in just a little bit. Yo, I forgot. While you're waiting, take this time, share this video. Make sure you share this video. I'm going to leave it up maybe a few days so that other people on your timeline can watch it. So make sure you share this video. Hit the share button. Do it right now. Hit the share button. What's going on, everybody? Oh man, this is so cool, man. What's up? This is like very exciting for me. I'm glad you guys are watching. I'm glad you guys actually still stayed here to see it. Sorry to my Instagram followers. We ran into some difficulty with Instagram, but nevertheless we're here, man. So I got my boy Ice here. I brought Ice in because
that's a good question. Why did you?
So I brought Ice in because a lot of what this is about we experience in like the film industry and music industry, and also one of the guys that inspired me. Basically, I'm picking up the torch. Dave Pendergrass. You've worked with the Freethinkers Network.
Yeah.
So being able to do that is I'm glad you're here, bro.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's an honor. It's an honor. Again, shout out to Dave, one of the trendsetters in our state, man. People don't realize a lot of things happen because of Dave Pendergrass.
For sure.
So
For sure.
we always give our roses when they're gone. I just want to give mine, because he's here. So.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We're going to take a quick pause, real quick. A 2-second pause. I need to grab something real quick. So, y'all don't go nowhere. We just going to take a 2-second pause real quick. All right? So, Ice.
Yep.
We're gonna have a dialogue about how this came about.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Kingdom Culture TV.
Kingdom Culture TV. We all know it kind of started with Black Couch.
It did.
Yeah.
It did start with Black Couch.
So with that being said, how long ago was Black Couch?
So the Black Couch started in 2015. It was late 2014. No, I lied. I'm wrong. Either late 2016 or the beginning of 2017. I remember because it started in a house I was renting upstairs, and we was in that house then. So we just got married, and what I wanted to do with the Black Couch was I already had a vlog channel on YouTube. So I was vlogging, just about my journey and this entrepreneurship thing, and then it came to, okay, what can I do? Like shorter videos, because those vlog videos was like, 15, 20 minutes long sometimes. Now, what can I do, short, real quick, to encourage people, encourage other people, and that's where the Black Couch came from. I had a Black Couch up there, and I was like, I'm gonna just set a camera in front of here, we're gonna call this the Black Couch, and just have like 5 to 10 minute just motivation. And then when it turned into people basically were like-minded, like me, that had, entrepreneurship journeys, or they were doing things in the community, I started interviewing other people. And that's when the Black Couch really started taking off, because it was the information from other people's journey,
right,
to let, me know, or other people know, anybody that's watching, if you want to do something, you want to start something, it's not far-fetched. We all started from somewhere. Right. So this is some of the tips and journeys that we took, and a lot of people connected with that. So that's how the Black Couch really got started.
Okay, so with that, the Black Couch got started pretty much basically you connecting with others to show that this journey can be done. And I can show you how. We're just not going to throw you out there, here's some tips, this is what you can do.
Right.
With that being said, what made you transition from the Black Couch to what we have now, Kingdom Culture TV?
Okay, cool. So there was a journey in there. So I started doing the Black Couch, and then I stopped doing the Black Couch. Then I started doing the Black Couch, and then the last time I stopped, one of the reasons was I couldn't do this by myself. Being able to constantly finding people to talk to, scheduling, it got rough. To be honest with you, it got rough. But people needed the content.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People needed the content. I didn't know, rather YouTube was going to be where I needed to continue to do it, or do it on Facebook. It was just a lot of what ifs. So over time, I decided that I wanted to start the Black Couch back up, but not. When I came to that realization, especially being in this studio space right here, what it did for me was allow me to service other people.
Right.
So in that time, we had my friends Craig and Kobe. They started a podcast, so they was doing similar things right here at the studio. Friend of mine, Tiffany, have a show called Flow with Tip, and basically I'm producing that show. John Lakin and Friends, I'm producing that show. So we got multiple shows that I'm producing,
right.
And so why not be able to have a central location where people can see content. And it's almost like when you watch, say for instance, you watch if you watch a Fox show, like something, let me see what's on Fox, some shows that's on Fox. I can't think of one right now, but anyway, at a certain time, your audience that's watching Fox may happen to watch another show,
right.
that normally you wouldn't watch,
right.
But because you are on that network already, you might check out this new show,
right.
because it's on that network. Same thing with, like, if John Lakin and Friends is playing, right? That's a certain audience. But if you are on that TV channel with John Lakin, he goes off and then another show come on, now you may become introduced, right. to something that you wouldn't normally be introduced if that channel was somewhere else. So like, right. YouTube have many channels,
right.
But Kingdom Culture TV is going to bring a terrestrial TV feel to basically this new age.
Right.
Case in point, iHeartRadio, right? Spotify, Apple Music. Apple Music had like a radio station at first, before they became just Apple Music, where you stream music. You would find new artists on that. You know what I'm saying? You would find new songs, and it's not terrestrial radio. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of custom make, the type of songs that you want to listen to, versus, actually hooking up an FM radio in your car. People not doing that anymore. Right. So moving along with the times, everything's about streaming, everything about instant on the internet. Right. So I'm bringing a terrestrial radio feel, a terrestrial TV feel that you would normally sit down and watch TV to the internet. Okay. I'm not the first one to do this, but I believe what makes this special is because this is clean entertainment. So it's integrity entertainment. Right. So you don't have to worry about turning on Kingdom Culture TV and found naked people. You know what I'm saying? And a whole lot of vulgarities. If your son, I have 2 kids, and you have kids as well. Right. You don't have to worry whether they're gonna see something that you didn't want to show them on Kingdom Culture TV. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a level of integrity that we're gonna have with this station, but you get to learn and be entertained still, like how you would watch anything else. Okay.
Now, like you said, it's going to be the terrestrial TV feel on the internet. The one thing that I know for me personally, when I'm on any app that I have, will it be on demand opportunities? It's going to be, will it just play through? Can you go back and watch it later? Will you be able to? Will the audience be able to just say, okay, I want to watch this episode?
Gotcha.
John Lakin and Friends.
Gotcha.
Or tip show.
So this is the thing. Think about terrestrial radio. So not terrestrial radio. Think about terrestrial TV.
Mm-hmm.
When the show comes on, if Scandal comes on at 7:00 on Thursdays, it comes on 7:00 on Thursdays.
Right.
You have to wait 24 hours to see it wherever else it's going to be. Whether it's going to be on Hulu, Netflix, or some ABC, like the ABC app or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this is going to be. Now, the shows that is not initially Kingdom Culture TV, like, okay, so Black Couch is a show that is Kingdom Culture TV. Some of the other shows is going to be produced primarily by Kingdom Culture TV.
Gotcha.
Flow with Tip, John Lakin, Craig and Kobe, they already have established YouTube channels. So if you want to go back and watch some more of their content, you'll be able to go to their YouTube and watch their content. But it'll be streamed on Kingdom Culture TV.
Gotcha.
So the only thing that you'll be able to go to Kingdom Culture TV YouTube or the website and see is exclusive content from Kingdom Culture TV. But things that are streamed that are outside of our network, you'll be able to go to their page and watch and stream what was shown on our terrestrial TV station, what was streamed live.
Right. But if I want to catch those bloopers, I gotta come to Kingdom Culture TV.
If you want to catch exclusive content, that's the special thing about Kingdom Culture, especially with John Lakin and Friends. And I'm matter of fact, let's run the snippet from John Lakin and Friends. Y'all check this out.
Big mighty God, big mighty God, big mighty God, big mighty God, big mighty God did it again. You woke up on the right side of the dirt. You woke up on the right side of the dirt. You woke up on the right side of the dirt. You woke up on the right side of the dirt. So let's give God a praise. So let's give God a praise. So let's give God a praise. This is John Lakin and Friends. 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 What's up now? I don't know if you got a chance to check it out, but have you seen the guests that have been on John Lakin and Friends? I'm talking about my uncle, John P. Key, Jarrell Smalls, Laura Wilson Johnson, Andre Delane, Keith Wonderboy Johnson, Jermaine Dali, Vashawn Mitchell. Not just good music, but powerful testimonies. I want you to know that your favorite gospel artists are going to be right here on John Lakin and Friends. You do not want to miss it. John Lakin and Friends. Wow, ministry in the 21st century is a little bit different than it was back in the day. Back in the day, we prayed and we would receive a word from God, and then we would simply deliver the word in the four walls of the church, and word of mouth would spread and people would know that God was moving here. Now, we actually have cameras, lights, action. We have microphones and a whole crew to help us take the gospel of Jesus Christ outside the four walls of the church. All of our churches have now had to find a way to conform to the social media age in order for us to share the love of Jesus Christ. John Lakin and Friends is our attempt for us to take the gospel of Jesus Christ outside the four walls of the church. So listen, Jesus loves you with an everlasting love. You are not alone. God is right there by your side, and things are going to get better. So we came to let you know that even in this social age, Jesus is the reason why we do all that we do. And we pray that something that we have said on this show has touched your heart and encouraged your spirit.
You know, we got songs playing. We got like music videos and other presentations, commercials and stuff ran. Sometimes when we're doing those interviews, like just one person, maybe a 45-minute interview,
right,
and we have to cut out so much content. So when you talk about like the bloopers and the exclusive content, that you'll be able to see the full interview. I remember one interview in particular that he did with the Campbells. That's Tina Campbell and her husband. I can't think of his name right now. He's a drummer, but the interview was like, it was literally about 30 minutes long, and it was talking about their marriage journey. And I could only put 10 minutes of that interview on the show. And it was so good. And those are the things that you'll get exclusive access to by allowing it to be streamed here on Kingdom Culture TV Network. So I'm excited to be able to do things like that.
That's really big because of the fact that, like you said, when we have those interviews, because like we did when we did Urban City Radio, we would have when it was live. We could go the hour and a half.
Right.
But when we have when we went to the mixtape version, we would have a 6-minute interview, and then we talk 6 minutes to the artist. Then it turn around, we have off air, we have a whole nother conversation.
Exactly.
Which that conversation may last another 10 minutes, but because we can't do it on air,
right,
we would have to, of course, cut it.
Right.
But there's one thing that in John Lakin's preview, a trailer, commercial.
Yeah.
So many different
all
ways.
Of that, his ad.
His ad, yeah. So there's one thing that he said. Ministry is no longer inside those four walls of the church. Yeah. It's very convenient for us now, especially because of the pandemic that happened a couple of years ago. Yeah. This is, people don't really understand that this is your ministry.
Yeah. It is.
When you break that down, how do you feel about your ministry actually being taken to another level?
Man, I never really dig that deep into it. One thing I try to make sure is whatever I'm doing is something that I'm called to. You get what I'm saying? So most people know me as being a musician, right? I've been a musician all my life. Still playing music. Shout out to Word of God Church and Ministry. Still a musician there. But between 2016, 2017, 2018, there was a shift that happened when God actually told me to buy a camera. That opened up a new gift in me. And through that time, that development, it was like the skills that I learned as a musician now has been enhanced, because now I'm doing video, now I'm doing documentaries, now I'm meeting other people I'm doing interviews, I'm in front of the camera now, you know what I'm saying? It's something that I know that the Lord compelled me to do. Talking about the Lord compelled me to do, because this is one of those things. Right. Kingdom Culture TV, I remember having the idea initially around, let me see, South Carolina State graduation was May, I think like the first week in May. 2 weeks after that, I was thinking about the two guys that they honored at the graduation. That was Charlamagne the God, and man, I can't think of his other name, Armstrong Williams. A lot of people don't know a lot of people in our community don't know Armstrong Williams because of his politics. But he's a stand-up dude, and you will find his show on the Fox network. He's a black guy, but you will find his show on like Fox News. And he have a level of integrity about his show as well. But those two guys were honored at South Carolina State for doing this media thing. And what it created for both of them, Charlamagne talk about owning your own content. Roland Martin talks about the same thing, about having black voices speak for themselves. Right. Because, if we don't, and somebody gonna speak for you, but it's not gonna be your point of view. They may not share your values. So that's what this is for me. Being able to have content and be able to show the values that's in me, and have, again, clean entertainment and having integrity in the media, that is being shown, because it's very important for us to be able to have that. There's not a whole lot of Christian organizations that have something like this that is not specifically, I'll say, church. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of Christian media companies, what they stream all day is different sermons. So if you're tired of hearing sermons, or someone physically like teaching in the church or preaching in the church, the only form of entertainment you got is what the world gives you. You get what I'm saying? Right. And then you have producers that are not Christian descent that's producing Christian content. So they don't have the same level of integrity of what's being shown on the screen. So, in our industry, you don't find a whole lot of us.
These are facts.
Christian or either black people in general.
Right.
When we step and do the things, it's very seldom. You might find a lot of black actors, a lot of people in front of the camera. Right. That's evolved over the years. Right. But behind the camera,
it's very low percentage.
It's very low percentage. There's not many black directors. It's not many black producers. And if you do find them, nobody own anything either. You get what I'm saying? Nobody owned the rental companies. Nobody owned the equipment. Well, we don't own them. We don't own the production that is being put forth. So this is, it's a new vein for me because the studio that we're sitting in, this is my studio. Some of the content that's going to be coming is going to be something that the company that God gave, Kingdom Cultured Media, is going to be able to produce. So a lot of people have ideas about doing things, and me and you talk about it all the time. Right. We have ideas about films and stuff like that. Right. But who do we go for funding?
Right, exactly.
We don't have a group of people to say, hey, we want to do another film. Can I get 10 grand?
Yeah, 10, 15 grand.
20 grand. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm doing here is twofold. Is being able to have a running company to fund bigger projects. That's one thing. Also, one thing that Armstrong Williams, he did is because his company is big, he writes a check to South Carolina State every semester for scholarships for people who want to learn how to do this media thing. That's something I want to do as well. I want Kingdom Culture to be able to send or either help aid students to be able to get into broadcasting, media, the music industry, all of that, because again, if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Sure. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, shout out to Derek Webster, who is a South Carolina State music industry intern that is actually helping us do the show right now. Right. That provided an opportunity for a student who's looking for an internship be able to learn from people that look like him. Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that gives him aspiration. So all of that is intertwined. Just based off the Lord telling me that one day, pay attention to these guys, see what they're doing, and you can do the same thing.
That's really good. I'm jumping back and forth.
No, that's cool.
You know how this interview thing, y'all, it can be serious.
That's cool. That's cool.
Let's talk about the other show. We got John Lake and the Friends.
John Lake and the Friends, yep.
And we got Flow with Tip.
Flow with Tip.
Now, before you say anything about Tip, I got to give a huge shout out to Tip, man, because Tiffany, we won. My wife and I, we won her contest where she did our entire, pretty much she did our wedding planning for us. Wow. And did the decorations, the whole nine, right? And if you don't know,
for sure,
this woman is dope at, she is, for me, I'm just speaking my opinion, she is the best that I've come across
for sure,
to do this, man.
For sure.
How did you guys, I know both of you guys go to Word of God.
Yeah.
And I know she's not here to answer this question.
Got you.
So, Tiffany, we're gonna have to get you in this chair.
Right. Yeah, I get Tiffany on the black couch. Huh? How about that?
What made you pick up her show or work with her on our show?
Okay, so I'm trying to think, what was I doing? Okay, so Tiffany, when I first got started in videography, Tiffany was one of my first clients. I actually did the commercial for Everlasting Impressions.
Okay.
When she first got the building that they was in on Main Street, she had me to come in and do that commercial.
Okay.
So, you know, Tiffany is really good for giving people chances. And she took a chance on me, and I appreciate that, Tiffany. And the commercial went well. And then she called me back to do some more work, you know. And then she was like, I got this idea for a show. Yeah, Flow with Tip. So what a lot of people don't know is Tiffany is a licensed counselor.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of people know her for the decoration and event planning, but she is a licensed counselor. So what she do with the show is she strike up good conversations. Matter of fact, y'all gonna see these some of the conversations right here. Let's show the ad for Flow with Tip.
Guess what we're going to be talking about? Marriage.
Oh my gosh, like after I've been in love with him for almost 35 years and to this day. Like, right? Like,
I want to serve him. Help me to be that helpmeet for him, even in my bedroom.
My love language has changed in 11 years.
Oh.
Not too long ago, I took the free test that they have online, and I found out that my love language now is acts of service.
Love and communication. How important is that to marriage?
But the worst thing that you could ever do is what we often do, is try to speak Spanglish.
Now it's all
That's the worst thing that you could ever do.
We have to create an environment where our spouse feels comfortable with being open, honest, and transparent with us. The book is, there's a book called Naked Marriage, but if I don't create an environment where you feel comfortable with being naked around me, then you're always gonna hide.
I was raised as a gentleman. You don't touch a woman at all. And so what we learned to do is to say our way through some things. And so I had to start catching myself, because you can't say it like that, because saying certain things in certain ways could be just as demeaning as raising your hand. And so I have to reapproach, Lord, how can I say this correct? Season my words with wisdom, Lord, or just shut me up, Lord.
Today's topic, we're going to talk about infertility.
When we tried the first time, I tried my best to get her to not doubt, but leave room for the possibility that it may not be our time.
I've learned that faith is trusting God no matter what the outcome, and understanding that He gives and He takes away and He is sovereign. And that's what I believe this whole process was all about. The topic of this session will be identity.
Showing up is making a decision. You don't look for who you are, you decide. And so many people say, I need to find me. Who am I? You're not looking, you're deciding.
Oh, I love it.
You see what I'm saying? So you begin with, who do I need to become? I ask this question all of the time. Who you are today got you to where you are today. But now the question is, who do I need to become to get me to where I'm going?
Bruh.
Who do I need to become?
Again, somebody watching this live probably never seen those episodes.
Right.
So having a network to be able to stream, because once you put them on YouTube, you don't re-put them on YouTube.
Right.
You have to tell somebody to go watch it on YouTube. So with the show, what Kingdom Culture TV is going to be able to do is take content like that, because that was 45 minutes of content. Just that last piece, they did a 45-minute conversation. Dang. So now, if you was watching John Lakin and Friends on the Kingdom Culture Media Network, and then now you got Flow with Tip come on after that, you locked in.
You locked in, bruh. Because I mean, you gotta think. We as people just love entertainment, right? So with John Lakin's show, John brings that energy of just entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's there.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you go into something serious like Flow with Tip, like it's something, the conversation that's needed.
Yeah.
And because the last lady is like, who do you become? Who do I become?
Who do you have to who you have to become to get where you're going?
That's a huge question.
That is something that I still grapple with. Becoming who I need to be in order to get where I'm going. So who I'm becoming now, it's funny now, we started the topic based off the ad.
Right.
But who I'm becoming now is thinking about now that I have a TV network. That's executive level positioning.
Right.
Now I have to really critically think ahead. Okay, what shows we're gonna have? You know what I'm saying? What people I need to put in place to keep this going? You know, what systems do I need to have in place to? I wasn't thinking about that when I first started entrepreneurship journey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Systems, employees, interns, the building a studio, building sets. You know what I'm saying? How to be forward thinking. You know, so we have about 5 or 6 shows now. We have about 2 or 3 movies now, but we gotta think about, okay, what's going to happen next?
Right.
We can't, seasons change. When you watch an ABC network, you might get 20 episodes of Grey's Anatomy or something, and then now the season changed and now they got more shows. Those shows been in production 6 months prior. Yeah, those shows been in production a year or 2 prior. So they're done. So now who do I have to become to be able to handle this bigger ship? Same thing for you. You got a couple of shows on this network that we're going to be pushing. Director's Cut is one of them. I want to explain a little bit about Director's Cut. So it's almost like what we're doing now. So Director's Cut is going to break down some of the films that are going to be shown on this network. So I did an interview with you a couple years ago on the Black Couch talking about forgiveness.
We did.
And I'm sure from then to now, your perspective, even on that film,
has changed.
Yeah,
definitely.
You get what I'm saying? So for a film like doing a director's cut, being able to show the audience what goes on in the mind of a director to try to pull out certain things to make a movie. So they'll see the 90-minute movie, or in your case, short film, or 30, 40-minute film. But what it took to bring that out, and what was the director's intent?
I think with that, it's the mind, man. Even now, we released Forgiveness. It'll be 3 years. It was 3 years ago, on the 24th of this month.
We're about to celebrate the anniversary of Forgiveness.
It's been 3 years.
Wow.
It's been 3 years. I will say that because we released it in 2019. So my progress within that 3 years has hugely exalted. I'm not where I want to be because of course we want to go higher, but if I look at Forgiveness now, I look at it totally different. And for those that haven't seen it yet, it's a great film.
Pause. Run the ad for Forgiveness. Run the ad for Forgiveness. Let's do it.
Major Thomas is one of the top real estate agents in his region, but lost everything due to a major accident.
I got this.
You know I can
I
help you,
don't
son.
want you to do nothing for me, all right? Lord, did I miss? As soon as I get my legs straight back, I'm out, all right? And you and your God can have this place to yourself. Baby, what are you
claiming what's mine.
So what's yours?
This time, you got a coach.
I don't need no coach. I'm the coach.
You know what coach I'm talking about. The one that sits high and looks low.
It was awkward. I don't know. But girl, he is so cute.
I had a good time too. You're a pretty funny guy.
I'm never giving up on you. No, I won't let go.
It's out now.
Oh man. So
it's out now.
You were saying how has life has changed since you have produced that film?
Oh man. Sheesh, bro. That's a loaded question. And because right before we released it, I met my current mentor, Darren DeShazer. Shout out to Darren.
Darren DeShazer. Yes, sir.
So, and he broke things down with me on the mistakes that I made on that film. Mm-hmm. He broke it down to me. But he also, one thing I love about Darren, he will tell you what's wrong, and he'll tell you how it needs to be fixed. Mm-hmm. So even from a director's perspective, it's like now I see things so differently. Like it's a thing that I have to turn off when I watch other projects, current projects. If I watch a movie and it doesn't, and I see something, and I'm gonna say this, and people probably gonna hate what I'm about to say or dislike what I'm about to say. Get Out is a terrible movie. To me, this is my personal opinion.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is, you can't tell me a deer hit the hood of your car and your engine is not on your ground. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't happening.
That's not happening. But and don't get me wrong, it's all about budget as well. Right. But when I see certain things like that, that means the person really didn't do the research. You know, because as a writer, because I'm a writer as well, when I'm writing, I have to do my research to understand what's going on. Because if I don't understand what's going on, people that are in the field that I'm using in that scene, they will see what's wrong. I want people to see it and be like, yeah, that's about how it happened. Yeah. But I have grown so much in the last 3 years, and I'm continuously growing. It's one thing that Darren says, and he probably said it to you too. If you're the smartest person in that room, you need to find another room where you're the dumbest person. And what that means is always leave room to learn. And so now I'm in positions where I'm the dumbest person in the room, but I'm also the smartest person in the room of my expertise. So that's where I am now. I think COVID for me was a great thing because I was able to actually sit back and learn my craft more. Wow. Listen to some audiobooks, got into a writing class, just so that I can, because we kingdom culture is not to be good at something, it's to be great at something. Yeah. It's not to do something okay, you have to do it excellently. Yeah. So
always striving for that.
You have
because
to.
you represent the king.
Right.
Yeah.
So when people see anytime, and even if it's kind of a Main Street type film that I'm writing, there's always something for impact to open up to see that there's some kingdom in there. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's always a way to see that, and that's how I write. That's how I think. Because, of course, not all the time I'm going to be able to do Christian films, faith-based films. I do get hired to write other films for people. Right. But with me getting hired to write those projects or direct those projects, I have to see an impact that doesn't go against what I feel, or I you know what I mean, or if I don't condone it, I may have to turn it down.
Yeah.
You know.
That's integrity.
And been through, we've been there, man.
Oh, for sure.
And it's a hard thing to do because we still have to put food on the table. Facts. We still have families. We have kids that are continuously growing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's hard to turn down when you possibly have you can get a $10,000 project, and it's 2 days, and you come home with $2,400. Yeah, that's hard to turn down.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's a month. That's your month worth of bills.
Oh, more than that.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, for sure.
So I mean, that's the tough part about it. So that's one thing that I look at now is, of course, you said integrity, understanding that I'm in a position where people watch all the time. That's why, like on Facebook, you may not see a lot that I post on Facebook. When I post, it's intentional. Yeah, I'm in there and I'm out. I turn I don't have my Facebook notifications on. So if I don't go into Facebook, I don't know if anybody said anything or anything.
I got it.
But it's all about what we, where we are as people.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? We have to. It's a growth, like you said. It's a season for everything.
Yeah.
Like every season has its situation.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going to transition to that because the like you talked about, who do you become? Behind that, because like you said, that's a huge thing, and it's something that I'm definitely working on. Not just as a entrepreneur, as a husband, as a father, even as a son. How do you attack first of all, this is a purpose for you. This is a purpose that you've been been told to do. We don't ask to do nothing. He don't ask no one type of way. He tells us what we need to do.
Yeah.
How did you step out on faith and just went to pursue your purpose?
Okay. Before I get into this, we're gonna be taking live questions from you guys on Facebook. So we'll be periodically, if you have any questions or any topics that you want us to address about, what we're doing and what we're saying in the Kingdom Culture Media Network, or any information, just drop it in the chat. If you're still with us, drop a 2 in the chat right now. Drop a 2 in the chat if you're still there. And any questions that you may have, definitely drop in the chat right now. All right, cool. So, man, Kingdom Culture Media in general, matter of fact, it wasn't even in existence. I was SDD Music Productions at the time. So I was working with GMG Music Center. Shout out to Bevis and Timby Gray with GMG Music Center. I was working there, and one summer, I'll tell the whole story. So I was in my own personal prayer time, and the spirit got high in my closet in my apartment at the time. And, I'm praising God, hallelujah, sending up my praises. And in the midst of it, the Lord speak just as plain as day as he was sitting in my room and said, quit your job. Now, I'm standing up with my hands up like this. And when he said, quit your job, there was a chair by the closet door. I just went and sat down. I'm like, okay, no, I ain't hear that. that did not happen. Nope, I did not hear that. It instantly sat me down. I was like, because the reason that was so hard for me is because, number one, I was teaching. I was at a job that I love to do. They was talking about expanding, so I probably got a promotion later. I was about to get married, and I was preparing myself to get a house. I can't quit no job right now. What am I going to do? I was still doing the music thing, but it wasn't enough to sustain a family I'm about to start.
Right.
It wasn't, and when you're trying to buy a house, you can't just be changing your income. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to have, established credit, established income. You're trying to get, trying to buy more, get mortgage and stuff like that. I'm like, so, and I talked about this on one of my vlogs. I told, I ain't doing that. I'm not quitting my job. I was like, okay. Okay. All right. So, days later, everything's good. It was hard for me to get back to that place in worship, because every time I would get in worship, it was like, you're supposed to quit your job. So it started getting worse, because now I'm going to the job not feeling like I'm supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so push came to shove. One message Bishop Eric Davis at my church was preaching, and I can't remember what he was talking about, but for some reason he said this line: even if you have to quit your job. I'm like, that don't even match what you're saying. Even if you have to quit your job. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. I was like, okay, okay, Lord, I hear you. And I remember him saying, if you don't quit your job, things is gonna start falling apart. That was one thing. Even if you have to quit your job was one thing. The second thing was, I remember leaving work. I don't have no problems with my car. I don't have any problems with my car. I'm gonna say it again. I have no problems with my car. I was driving down the road. This was Polo Road, and the car just cut off. And the first thing came to my mind wasn't, oh man, what's going on with my car? Oh, is it the battery? Is it? No. The first thing came to my mind was, you're supposed to quit your job. That's so unrelated. That's the first thing. Everything is shutting down because you're not supposed to be working still. So again, I went back to church. I was like, okay, so I surrendered. I was like, Lord, okay, I'll quit my job, but you gotta have to teach me when to do it and how to do it, because GMG Music Center, even though it's a school, it's a small business, and I played a pivotal role in the business. If I just leave today, that means they will have to find not only a teacher. I was starting music production at that company, and I was also responsible for doing picking up the kids so that they can go to after school from the kids. So I'm like, they got to find a driver, an educator, and an administrator at once, and that's a big hit for a small business, So another day came into work, and Mr. Gray called me in his office. He said, is everything all right with you, Mr. Guy? I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. And they both said, yeah, we already knew that. You wasn't supposed to be here as long as you is. So it was like God had already prepared them to know that I wasn't, that it was time for me to transition to the next thing. And that was my confirmation. And even with them, this is right before COVID hit too. They had to downsize their company when that happened. So while I'm thinking business with GMG is going to expand, the Lord dealt with them, and actually, so me leaving was actually helped them achieve what they needed to achieve. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and what it made me to do is not find another job, but to hone the gifts and the callings that God had gave me. That's when business started picking up. So it was through that experience what kind of taught me, to, okay, if this is what's placed in your hands, grow your talents, learn the business, learn the system, and go forth. And God will open up the rest. And it's been history ever since then. Literally. Even because the music thing wasn't working. It wasn't working. I'm going to be honest with you. I quit my job, but the music thing wasn't working. I wasn't making no money doing music. It wasn't until he told me to buy a camera when I was able to start providing more for my family. The music thing wasn't working. But I learned so much in that time. So now that I have an established business, I remember those foundational things that I was taught, when it wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a process. It's a journey. So being able to do things like this now, it's because of that. So that's that was the initial, that was the initial thing. I had to pray, God, teach me how to be a visionary, because I had no vision. Teach me how to see things and make it happen. So here we are. This is what God gave me. And that's all I got to go by.
That's funny because I'm kind of in that situation that you were in.
Oh, wow.
I actually went through the same thing right after my grandmother passed. I had a good job, good paying job, very good paying job. Took care of everything I needed. But the job literally made me sick.
Wow.
Like I was continuously having headaches. Like I was diagnosed with migraines when I was younger, but then I would have a migraine at least like twice a month, and it would last 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
So it got to the point where when I got a headache, I just got used to having a headache.
Wow.
For 3 or 4 days. But God told me, like, I want you to go back driving school buses. I was like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. God, I got 2 kids I'm taking care of.
Wow.
You know what I mean? My wife and I at the time had just got engaged, and it just didn't make sense. It's like, it was crazy. I was like, nah, I can't do that right now. Then the job that I was at hit me with a increase. It hit me with a bonus and everything. No, that was before my grandmother passed. My grandmother passed, and he said the same. I didn't go back. He said, "You have to. You need to leave. You need to go back driving school buses." It's like, man, I'm making this money. I'm making this money. I can't do it right now.
You know what? I remember your old job. Now since you said that, I remember we used to work.
Yeah. I never had time for anything.
I remember that.
I never had time for anything.
I
literally.
remember that.
And so eventually I left. As soon as I left, as soon as I started back driving school buses that next year, it's funny because forgiveness. VA had shot forgiveness. Shout out to VA, and the hard drive that she had shot forgiveness with, everything that was on it, it would not allow her to pull the files were there. Would not allow her to pull the files. Would not allow her to do anything. So now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this money to help her so that we can get this footage off of this hard drive.
Yeah.
Quit the job. I left the job that I was at. Some way that $600 came out of nowhere. Gave it to her. She did what she needed to do. She did the first cut. You know, we went through the process of that. And then that November, somebody was looking for a director for a short film. And I was like, I'll just throw it out there. You know, I've been doing it for a few years. I think I can do it. Reached out to me, got the job as the director. 6-day shoot. We did it back-to-back weekends. And if I wouldn't have left the job, I wouldn't have got that shoot, which actually opened up more. And then now I'm in the position where it's like I'm actually in a faith test now where it makes sense for me to leave because what I'm making is actually more if I step out on faith.
Yeah.
And it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for those of you that are watching, if he tells you to do it, don't say no, because you're going to end up doing it anyway.
It's hard not to, though.
It is very hard not to.
It's hard to. So, because when you look at your circumstances, like if you make a move like that, like, so, same thing. Gotta tell you, quit your job. Now, literally, I had already had my budget set up. You know, we about to get married. This is what we about to do. Everything is taken care of. Everything's good. And I remember, cause we had to make a budget in marriage counseling, and everything was good. Everything looked good. And I remember asking Pastor Aiken, who was doing our marriage counseling, cause I remember grappling with that question. And shout out to my wife Desiree, because she didn't give me any grief. She was like, "That's what the Lord told you to do. Who am I?" You know what I'm saying? Because a woman could be like,
Boy, I tell you.
"You ain't about to quit no job. Quit your job."
I'm gonna cut you off right there because I literally just had this conversation with my wife last week, and she said, "You already know what you're gonna do." To have that, it's a difference to have, like, Scripture says is best. When you find a wife, you find a good thing, but it doesn't stop there.
Yeah. Come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
That favor in Him is that's even greater.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Having that support and that backbone to say, you already know what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
This is what you had to go through to get to where you are.
Yeah. Again, like I said, shout out to my wife, man. And she wasn't even my wife yet. So I'm thinking about stability. I'm thinking about making sure that, okay, she's about to step out of her own independence and follow me. And I'm about to lose all my income. Like, I don't know. But I remember going to a counseling session, and I asked Pastor Aiken, I was like, have you ever been in a situation where you feel like God told you to do something and you didn't do it? And he said yes. I said, how did that make you feel? He said, it's weighty. It's heavy.
That's it.
It's so heavy. And he said, his personal testimony is sometimes he feel like he's still carrying the weight of something that he should have done long time ago, that he felt like he was led to do. And a lot of times you don't get a chance to correct that mistake.
Right. I disagree with you on that. The reason why I disagree with you on that is because if you still have breath, you have another chance.
You got another chance.
You know what I mean? So for those that are watching again, whatever you feel like you didn't do, you're not too old.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're not too old, because some people look at going for his actors joint. Look at Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Clint Eastwood is, I know, gotta be 90, not between 90 and 95.
Yeah, he's been in the game.
And he's still directing films.
Yeah.
He's still acting in films.
That's true.
Quincy Jones, one of the best musicians ever.
That's true.
Is in his mid 80s.
Yeah.
And still doing what he loves to do.
Yeah.
So you're never too old to do what you think you can't do or you haven't done. The only thing that you have to do is try or start.
That's true. And from a spiritual point, God is the redeemer of time. So, but that only comes in obedience.
That thing there, boy.
You know what I'm saying? He redeems the time, but you have to be in Him to do that.
That's true.
You have to be following what He is leading you to do.
That's very true.
So, and then sometimes, what I was saying is sometimes you have a short window of doing certain things in the specific time He needs you to do it.
Right.
Matter of fact, let's run Craig and Kobe's ad, because they talked about something like that. Let's run Craig and Kobe ad.
Conversations with Craig and Kobe.
I think if we look at our purpose as, you know what, I have something that someone needs. And if I don't do it, if I don't follow my purpose, then my brother or sister are going to struggle. And it's not like, that's good. That's good, right? They're going to struggle. And likewise, I need you to follow your purpose, Kobe, because the fruits of your purpose that are going to benefit me, I need. So I need you. Kobe, look at me. I need you to, even though you found it, I need you to continue on your path of purpose because I'm depending on it.
So here's the question that came to me, which is why I was kind of looking away, which is almost like, who is in pain right now because you didn't operate and attack your purpose.
That's heavy.
Right. It's got me over here. And
That's
about to cry,
heavy,
man,
bro.
like, cause that is, yeah, man. It's like
That's
it's
heavy.
different, man. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
You're good.
yeah, it's like a level of like conviction, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, because it really isn't about us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you got something that you know you're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
and perspective is everything, right?
Yeah.
And even though we talked about it, like even with the book, but how these conversations like building, like that is like that purpose piece is, it's like you got something that you need to do.
Yeah.
Like, and people don't do it because they get selfish about it.
Mhm.
Right? They think that it's well, I'm not gonna do this because ain't nobody gonna read it, or I'm not gonna do this because it's not really gonna impact anybody. But you're not really getting that it's not about you doing it to get any accolades or praise, but somebody else needs it. Like they don't want it. Like they
need
it.
Who is hurting? Who is hurting because we are not living in the purpose that we call to live in?
Man, it's deep. It's deep, but it's not that deep. Because we know everybody. Honestly, everybody around us is hurting if we don't do it. Like if for instance, if we would have never, for instance, if Dave Pendergrass, again, shouts out to Dave. If Dave would not have said you need to call Sean and say he does music scores, I would not have had a score for forgiveness.
That's true. That's true.
And we have never had a conversation.
And we never had this kind of connection either.
Right.
Wow.
And people people don't understand. Like, I came out of pocket for forgiveness. A lot of people did things for me at no cost because they believed in my purpose. They believed in what I was doing. So it hurt. Of course, the easy answer is it hurts everyone around us. The deeper answer is because what you said about what your pastor said. The heaviness is still there, and not trying to be sexist or anything, but as men, our first 3 jobs are to protect, provide. I can't think of the other P right now. But
provide, protect, and be a priest of our home.
So you got So those are the first 3 things, right? Those things, when you're right, can be very easy. But when you're in a position where your purpose really it exalts those 3 P's, because because yet you're doing those things, but if you don't follow with your purpose, those 3 things will crumble.
It will.
Which will cause your household to crumble.
It will.
Because and ladies, don't kill me. Don't shoot me on this. A submissive wife will have to become an independent wife and have to take care of the household.
That's true.
And it's not about money.
That's true.
It's about the purpose that you'd have to follow. So a lot of times when we as men, we have that calling to do something, the reason why it's so heavy is if we mess up everything. It's like a demolishing building. Like, when that bomb goes off, it's like everything just comes down on you. And then the only thing that you can do is scrap it up, and you have to carry it. Yeah. We have to, like, I was talking to one of my best friends the other day, and I was telling him he just got into a relationship. I told him the main thing that's first is God.
Facts.
Second thing is family. Third thing is everything else. But the main thing is God, right? Because he said he's talking about maybe marriage and everything. I said, okay, once you get married, your kids don't become before your wife, or your husband doesn't come before your kids. Because you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Your wife is God, your wife, then your children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when them children get grown, them children leave the house, and who are you left with?
And also when you do that, because you always want to have a strong relationship, because that's what your kids are watching. You know what I'm saying? In that divine order, you are one.
Right.
So you can't ignore part of yourself for what you produce. You get what I'm saying? So when you have a strong family root system, like me and my wife is very, very close. I wouldn't be able to do any of this.
It's facts.
If me and my wife didn't have the relationship, and if she didn't have the relationship with God that she has.
Right, that's true.
None of this, even if I would try to do this, it would be so much contention at home. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now that's what my kids have to live in, that contention. You know? So all of just God first, because we both have to have our relationship with God first. And then understanding that the family unit, you know, us being together, because we are what our children is watching. We are our purpose as a married couple and produce righteous seed is what God has planted on us, and we're one. So you can't put the children between what's one.
That's it.
You can't put the children between what's one, because when you do that, you are creating separation.
Right.
And just like you said, the kids leave, and now what you got?
Yeah, nothing but an angry wife, and that's another thing too. That like a lot of, like, for me, when COVID happened, we couldn't go nowhere. I was fine.
It was good.
I'm okay.
I was good
because I know that I'm with my best friend. At the end of the day, this is, and shouts out to my wife, because even like now, she sent me a text a little while ago. You good, babe? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We doing a live.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, I have to leave for a week and a half to operate in your purpose. To operate in my purpose.
Yeah.
So for a week, I'm going to be in Atlanta. I get to come back home for one day. They go to Florence the next day, and be gone for another 4 days. So in order for it all goes back into her relationship with God, her love for me, and her support for me, and also her trust, which is like Pastor Mike Todd said. It hit me because every relationship has its rocky moments.
Right.
Trust is like a bucket of water. When you mess up, that bucket is done. To replenish that trust is like a faucet dripping. So you got, that faucet has to drip for a long time.
Yeah.
In order to replenish that.
Man, it has to be constant.
And it has to be constant. Because if somebody go tighten the faucet, it's no drip.
Yeah, it's no drip.
So,
and that tends to happen. People knock over that bucket, right?
Then
and then there is no dripping into. There's no rebuilding. There's no pouring in. So again, that creates division.
Right.
You know, division. It creates two different visions. And you know, because the bucket got its own idea and the water got its own idea.
Right. Exactly.
So if they're not in cohesive, then it's two different entities. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. And people don't understand how powerful water is.
Yeah.
We can contain power. We can contain the water. But if we think about a tsunami, if a tsunami hits the coast, everything is pretty much gone.
We saw that with the flood.
Oh
and
my God.
The tsunami has a greater force.
Right.
But the flood is just constant drips of water.
Right. And you look at this, right?
Tore up everything.
Because I rode past St. Andrews last week on my way to Newburgh Saturday. And where the apartment complex was that was over there, I remember going over there, and the friends of mine stayed over there, and there's nothing there.
Right.
It's just an empty field.
It was because of the flood.
Because of the flood. Because of water. But when water is contained, it's just like a marriage. When it's there and it's together, can nothing tear it apart.
That's true.
No matter how much you slap it, only thing that's gonna do is ripple.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Cool, man. Yeah. So, hey man, I see y'all commenting. John, what's going on, John? You got John Lakin on the line. Gloria, I see you. Thank you for staying and watching. David Evans, I see you. I see your testimony, bro. Yeah, man. Coming out of military career.
That's that, man.
Like,
you guys go through a whole other situation. Oh my goodness. That's difficult, man.
Yeah, to have God telling you to leave that, that is.
Because that's sustainable. That's income.
That's stability, even after you retire.
Right. You good.
Yeah, man. But
that's huge. Thank you for sharing that.
Please, thank you. Clancy, you made a
question.
Yeah, Clancy talked about, am I taking talent? Yes, absolutely. Again, I talked about how there's got to be more shows that are being produced, and more things that's happening. Right now, I have, when it comes down to working, I have 2 interns. Salida Fortune, who wasn't able to be with us today, and I have Derek Webster. And the only reason we able to do this is because they are back watching, making sure the live stream is straight, make sure doing the switching and all that stuff like that. So if you're trying to learn and get into production, I'm taking and teaching people how to do this. When it come down to doing shows, yes, if you want to start a video podcast, because that's what Tiffany did. She wanted to start a show. That's what John did. He wanted to start a show. Craig and Kobe did the same thing. They just wanted to start a show, and it evolved into what they have now, or a podcast, and it evolved to what it is now. So if you have a podcast idea, or you have a show idea, like one of the shows we have, it's called Food Tripping. Chris Boyd, he actually go and interview chefs, and chefs get to take their skills to the camera. So we'll film, some special dishes. So that's a show idea. So if you have a show idea, something that you want to put together, and we have a production team, and we'll try to see whether we can put that together. If you got a film idea, documentary idea, I'm open to as well. You can email me at Shante, that's SHONTE at kingdomcultured.com. I try to drop it in. I can drop it in here right now. I sure can. Shante at Kingdom Cultured, or hold on, no, let me do this right now. Cultured.com. I just dropped that. Also, you can message me on my personal page if you're watching now. You can also message the Kingdom Culture TV page. So that's where you'll be able to see a lot of these lives and stuff in the future when we do an official launch. So look out for an official launch. But you can drop a message there. You can DM me on my personal page, or you can send me an email at Shante at kingdomcultured.com. You got any more questions?
Darren said, can he enter?
Darren who?
Darren DeShazer.
Oh, of course, Darren. You can run a show. You can film all of our movies because you have more experience than I do in filming. You definitely can, sir. Matter of fact, you in the Charlotte area, so if you know some people that's outside of, we're right here in the Columbia region, but if you know someone that's in the Charlotte region, I know you have hail from Chicago, that needs a place. Again, I talk about at the beginning, that this is a place where every film don't make it to film festival. Every film don't get picked up for distribution. Every documentary don't get shown on TV. This is a place, if it fits our integrity level, that you can submit your films, submit your documentaries, so that we can play it on the network, so it can be seen, so we can grow something. You get what I'm saying?
I get you, bro.
Yeah, this is a place for that.
I'm going to share with everyone as well. Those of you that are in the film community, please understand that quantity is not great. Quality is. I'm saying that because there are a lot of people that are in the film community that wants to just push. Want to do 4 films a year. I tell you, if you save your money, do a quality, get your budget together, do a quality film, everything else will fall in line for you. I promise you that. Now, with that being said, you said documentaries.
If you're still here, drop a 4 in the chat. Drop a 4. I want to see them 4s. I'm going to acknowledge some of y'all. Go ahead.
Documentary. People don't understand. And the documentary that you did 2 parts actually.
I did.
And it was more so surrounding politics and voting. But the documentary that you did, why did you do it?
Okay, pause. Let's run the ad for Use Your Voice. This is actually part 2. So let's run it on the ad for Use Your Voice.
Voting is when you know what you want, you find out who's offering it, you let them know, sir, I want you to know that I remember you making this promise.
If they're serving for the right reasons, they should be able to do what needs to be done for their community.
What is it that you're going to do? Why should I vote for you?
On your worst day, are you still doing what you said you would do?
People forget that elected officials work for the public.
Our voice is different because we're the people that put them in office.
We voted you in, you rascal. And the truth of the matter is, you got 4 years to give us something that looks like what we are seeking or what we're asking for, or we will remove you.
And then when they're elected and they don't do it, he says, sir, I need you to know that me and my church will never vote for you again.
My dear friends, your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union. The most important thing that constituents can do is realize how important their one vote is.
Really understand that your vote does matter. Your voice is important. That's why so much is being spent to either get you to the polls and vote or to deter you away from voting. Understand that the political process works. So make sure that you go out and vote. And not just that, stay involved. There are so many other things that you can do to be involved with the political process even after the election is over. There's so many ways that you can use your gifts and talents to be that change that you want to see.
I'll shout from my advocacy place. You shout from your journalism place. Somebody else shouts from their political place. Somebody else shouts from their economic place. Somebody shouts, from the healthcare perspective. But if we all shout at this wall together, we all unify and come together quietly, under stealth. Don't let them know what we're doing. And when it's time to shout, all them walls will come down. That's a humanity, that's a nation, that's a vision that I believe in.
So whatever it is, if you're worried about it, if you're concerned about it, if you're happy about it, find a way, find someone that you see on social media that you can just reach out to them. If someone reached out to me tomorrow and said, I want to do this, I'm going to give you an outlet. I'm going to tell you where to go to get more involved. But if anything, if you're upset, find someone who has that same passion for your anger. and you get with them to figure out what you can do to change the scope of what things look like. But I would really just encourage our generation, we've got to stop complaining, and we've got to use that to give us the energy to make a difference and to make a change. So if people do that, it'll be change made all over this world.
And so I think when people find out what their niche is, what their expertise is, what they're called to do, man, ride that thing and collaborate with people who are doing their thing so you can help make the better goal. I recite this poem all the time because we learned it at South Carolina State, called We the Willing. So we the willing who are led by the unknown are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We've done so much with so little, we're now qualified to do anything with nothing. And so that poem is literally the answer to what role do I play? Because the answer is be the willing. As long as you're willing to do something, you're pushing the movement forward.
All right, so the very first one I did was Use Your Voice 1, and that was just a perspective of, matter of fact, exactly 3 years ago, when we had the last governor's race. We had candidates that came to our church. Our pastor put together a town hall, and he actually dared, commanded at least 1,000 of us to show up at this town hall, because our community don't go to town halls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our community, we talk about the issues that happen, or what we don't have. My road need paving, or why is gas so high, or why I can't get health insurance, or why are all these businesses closed, why I can't find no job, why. But everything kind of starts in the political region, and we don't pay attention to politics enough to even have our voices heard. So we just complain and think like nothing is going to happen, but we don't participate in the political process. So he challenged us to show up to that town hall so we can get familiar with the candidates, what they promised us to do. Just like Dave said, we have to remember what they promised they said they're going to do. So when we vote for you, we now have to hold you accountable for what you said you was going to do.
Right.
What I learned after the first one is we don't even know what the political process is. We don't know. And Nita talked about that, and she's now Richmond County coroner, the first black woman coroner in Richmond County. And she was on the documentary. She was talking about she didn't know what the process was to even try to run for office. You know, what are all these different elections? You know, why you gotta have a primary election? Why you know, the only election I know, and most people vote in or participate in, is the presidential election. Yo, elections happens all the time. Someone is always getting elected to an office, but the only one we pay attention to is the one that you normally see on TV.
Right.
You know, during the presidential election. So what I wanted to do is, and I'm going to hone this documentary on the network a lot, because we got a governor's race coming on. And not just that, we just had an election a couple months ago for school board. So when you're talking about advocating for our children, you can't wait every 4 years.
Right.
You know, you need someone in these spaces to advocate for your kids. When you see things happening, you know, local election matter, because those are the ones that affects you the most, and those are the ones that is closest to you. Right. So if you don't know who your school board representative is, who represent, you know, then how you gonna hold COVID? Who you think is making all those decisions on what happens in your school? Who, do the kids go to school? How much money they get in the PPE, protective equipment? Do they wear masks? It's the people that you vote for in office.
Right.
And if you didn't vote for them in office and they make decisions, it was somebody that you voted for who hired them. So you need to know who are these people and participate in the process. Voting is one thing, but holding people accountable, writing your representative, writing these, it's public information. When you run for office and you're in a public office, your address can be found because you are now a public servant, not just a prestigious person, but a public service. In that documentary, I sent out, and I was targeting millennials and younger generation. So I sent out a survey, and some of the questions on that survey was, are you registered to vote? A lot of them were, because you may be college students, so you have to be registered. You have to sign up for selective service, and the next thing is being registered to vote in order to get a student loan. Okay, but the next thing was, do you participate? No, I don't participate. Okay, why don't you participate? Well, I don't trust politicians. You know the reason you able to get a student loan is because of politicians. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you able to get financial aid in an income capacity is because they passing laws on how much money gets sent to certain schools. And we talk about HBCU crisis. Healthcare. Rather you be able to get access to healthcare, that was a big battle between the Republican and Democratic Party. So understanding what are decisions that the people that you don't trust are doing. Are you holding them accountable? Are you writing a letter? Are you showing up to town hall meetings? Are you free thinkers? Going back to Dave Pendergrass, free thinkers over the pandemic was live streaming the debates. Yeah. So it ain't about okay, well I ain't had time to go. It's live stream. Just like you watching this, you could watch a debate and listen to the candidates. Oh, I think I like where he's going. Let me either vote for him or let me talk to him and see whether he can do something for me and my community.
Right.
And if they can do something for you and your community, you and your community say, hey, we ride for this person right here. And it's two things that can happen. They can win or they can lose. If they win, you hold them accountable. If they lose, if there was enough support, the candidate that wins has to listen to your concern, because it's enough of y'all to badger his case. Case in point. And we did not do this. When Lindsey Graham and I can't think of the guy that ran against him, the state was split 51-49%. 49% of the state voted for the Democratic candidate, and 51% voted for Lindsey Graham. Now, when Lindsey Graham won the election, we lost the concerns of the 49%. Nobody in the 49% said, hey, we need to go to Lindsey Graham with our agenda, because literally we can overturn this election next year. I mean, in the next 4 years, because Tim Scott is running this year. So that 49% say, okay, we're gonna make sure that we don't get Tim Scott. That bring down that agenda. So we have to kind of look at the political process as a way of leveraging to get the things that we need, but we ignore it because we don't understand it, and we don't understand how important it is for our local elections be, because we don't know anything about it. We don't know what's going on. And some of us don't care. We just want to complain about it. But that's what that documentary was mainly for, because you now have no excuse. Someone is telling you, look, this is what you're supposed to do. If someone is running, listen to them out, hear them out. If you match with their agenda, you vote for them. You can't just be checking boxes.
Right.
Because now you, just like Dave said on that, most of us forget what they promised. How is that going to benefit you? Because we vote from an emotional or a popular standpoint. Oh, that person go to my church, I'm going to vote for them anyway. But then they get in office and you need something done, and you don't remember what they promised you.
Right.
That's what the importance of use your voice.
If y'all have questions, please throw them in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this comment section. Let me see. Clancy, you still here? I appreciate you, brother. Salida, I wish you was here. Come on back now. She's one of our intern. EMS, Ella Marie Smith, my cousin, I see you still there. David Evans, I see you still there. I appreciate you guys. I got a gift y'all see these tumblers, right? I'm gonna figure out a way. I'll probably send y'all a message or something like that on how may do a random giveaway. I think not giveaway or a random drawing on being able to get these cups. So I'm giving each one of these cups away. So that's 2 cups. This shirt, not this shirt, but a shirt like this one. And I have a gray version. So that's 4 gifts I'm going to be giving away. I'm going to let Facebook do the random picking of who gets these items, and then I'll hit you in your inbox. So,
man, we kind of went all over.
We did. You had a question? You were saying, the last question you was asking me was just the process of why I was doing those documentaries.
No, that was the question. You answered the question. If you guys don't know, like I said, me and Shantae met because he did the score for the film Forgiveness that you will see on Kingdom Culture TV. But we became brothers in that whole process. This dude is one of the most stand-up dudes that I know. I know a few. He will hold you accountable. If it's not right, he'll tell you. If it doesn't look right, he'll tell you.
Thank you, man.
But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you allowing me to join you with this, I guess, Q&A.
Yeah, man.
Conversation, man. You know, we usually have conversations. This is what this was, and I just appreciate it, man. I'm honored to be a part of it.
Man, appreciate you for actually sitting here with me, you know, and doing this. I thank you, everybody, for watching and being here and listening to what God gave me in the vision. What is it? But I'm there virtually. I see you, Salita. But yeah, man, I appreciate this. I mean, because y'all don't have to support. People don't, when you do things, people don't have to support you.
That's very true.
It ain't necessary, but I believe that this is a need. And I want people to be able to, people that are doing things in the community, I want them to be displayed and also be able to give jobs to people as this grow, be able to provide scholarships for students who want to study. And for people who's listening and watching, for them to have a place that they can guarantee to get entertained or get informed, and also not have to worry about something crazy popping up on the screen that is going to offend them in a maybe a sexual manner or cursing, because there's a lot of that out there. But
that's very true.
You don't have to have dirty entertainment or edgy entertainment in that way in order for people to watch.
True.
And I believe that this is going to be a space for that, and I just appreciate God for giving me this vision, and I just pray that He honors what we're trying to do.
So with that being said, this brother got work to do.
I do. Always got work to do. Again, man, thank y'all for watching, and we will I'll throw out an announcement when we are going to actually do our official launch. So when I do the official launch, we're gonna do something similar to this. We'll watch a show, then we'll do a quick Q&A. Hopefully I can bring those people on what we're watching on the show. But thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all later.